This program is suitable for all audiences.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Talk for another day. I'm Kip Sandbeck.
And I'm Valerie Mackenzie here at the Sukhothai, Bangkok.
Now coming up in the show today, Momay has now showing.
Yes, indeed she does.
But I understand you're off to hospital.
In actual fact, I went recently to the Living in Bangkok exhibition that's on every year at Bumrungrad Hospital. And I have to say that they're becoming more and more impressive the way they actually run this particular event. It's actually for expats who are coming to live in Thailand, and they need to know about schooling, they need to know about maybe transportation, so many things when you've come to a new country you need to know. Or even if you've been here for many years, you need an update, or maybe there's something you don't know.
New place to stay.
Exactly. So
medical services.
The Bumrungrad have this as a service that they have every year. Thai craft go in and sell all their products, and that helps the local communities. But this year, Bumrungrad has done something quite different. They've actually nominated a number of people who were come to Bangkok to live and ended up in a profession that they never would have thought of in a million years. So they've actually, Bangkok has changed their whole lifestyle. We're going to interview, I believe, 8 of those people and see how much they love Bangkok, how much they love Thailand, and how this country has changed their life. I think it's an interesting concept.
Very interesting indeed. Look forward to seeing it. All that and more coming up in Morning Talk in just a moment.
I find it interesting that a hospital, such as Bumrungrad International Hospital, when you actually come to this hospital, it's like a hotel. They also get involved with the community, and they get particularly involved also with the expatriate community. For the last 12 years, Living in Bangkok has been a forum for organisations, for music clubs, for people relocations, for Thai craft. There's so many different groups of people to come together and to show what they have to offer, to actually help new people coming into Bangkok. This year they've added a new dimension, discover and reinvent yourself whilst living in Bangkok. Why? Because so many people have come here and their life has changed completely. They've actually, this year, nominated 12 people that have actually come to Thailand and their life has changed through a career or through actually helping others. We're going to interview 7 or 8 of those and show you how they make a difference to and contribute so greatly to what's happening here in this wonderful city. One lady I bumped into, but we knew we were going to meet anyway, is a fellow seroptimist. Not only a fellow seroptimist, but she's given so much to education, and education with a difference. Now, was that her background? I'm not sure. I'd like to welcome from Rosemary Academy, from Rosemary.
Thank you,
Nice
Valerie.
to see you. Now,
nice to see you. Always good to see you.
It is, it's very nice. And again, thank you for all the support you give us. Now, you've been in education internationally, so it was nothing new to get into education, but to actually start your own school here, your own academy, what was the motivation?
Well, I wanted to work with children who couldn't necessarily make it in a regular international school. The kids who just could do better in a smaller school.
Now, when you say that, I mean, did you have the experience working with children that were less fortunate or maybe had some mental ability or some physical disability?
Yes, I worked in the Crusade for Opportunity in Syracuse, New York with disadvantaged children. And then I was the staff at ISB for many years working with children there that had special needs.
Your first experience in Thailand was when you came with AFS, is that correct?
No, I came with the Peace Corps.
The Peace Corps, I beg your pardon.
Peace Corps.
And when you came with the Peace Corps, that's when you actually learnt the language and you met your husband.
Yes, I did.
So you have a different situation to some of the ladies here that we're going to be talking to, in as much as you're married to the Thai. How have you found the expat community and the development of the expat community as someone in your position?
Well, there's certain things that I don't go to, like ladies groups who aren't familiar with Thailand, but the music, I think the art, the culture, the churches, I think that's our community, the museums, the libraries. These, I think, are international all over the world, and wherever we go, if we can get into those places, we're at home.
I guess that in all of us, there's some of us that want to be writers, some of us that want to have our own magazines, our own TV programs, or whatever it may be. But I actually saw by chance a publication called Acclimate, and I wondered what this was all about. It so happens that one of the ladies that's been nominated in Living in Bangkok this year by Bumrungrad is Tracy Starr, and she's the founder and editor of this particular publication. Now, from the States, had you ever worked in magazines or publishing in the States?
I had not, but when I was a child, starting a magazine was actually my dream.
Oh, was it?
So I went to university to study journalism, and then went in a different direction, as it does. I went into sales and a different career path, and we ended up overseas, and with the opportunity to reinvent myself and try something new, so I went back to my dream and started the magazine.
How did you start the publication though in Bangkok? I mean, is it because there are so many expats here living, or?
Yeah, there are a couple reasons actually. The year before I started the magazine, I had been serving as the president of the American Women's Club. And so I had a year of meeting everyone in town, hearing the same stories, the same problems, the same issues as a trailing spouse that I'd gone through myself, and at the same time was meeting the whole business community, and found that it would be a perfect opportunity based on all of my contacts and based on the people who are here, and the cost of printing is so low. That it was just a great opportunity.
Are you planning to take this publication further, or you're so inspired by it, you're thinking of starting another publication? Tell me where you're going. Are we going to see you as a, Bangkok's obviously given you the opportunity to start a publishing business. More to come?
It's a good question. I'm thinking about it. One of the reasons Acclimate is so successful, I think, is because it's local. It's because our readers flip through the pages and they see people they know, and they see people they can relate to. And our advertisers feel that as well. So I think the next step would probably be another local publication in another market. Maybe an Acclimate Hong Kong.
Whoa! This is where Tracy's based now, so I guess we're going to see another Acclimate. For those Australians watching the program, we say Acclimate. I think.
Probably say acclimatise.
Acclimatise, exactly. So Acclimate when you're in Bangkok. Who knows what's going to be called in Hong Kong?
Thank you.
Another person that was actually recognised by Bumrungrad for their particular program this year is Anne White. Now, I love what she says about herself. She says she was a trailing spouse, and therefore she wanted to do something with her life. So what did she do? She needed to help with marriage counselling. And, to actually go back after all these years to actually study, how difficult?
Very. But it was the best thing I could have ever done for myself. I loved it. It helped me grow as a person, as an individual, and I recognize that all of us can improve the quality of our life if we have the skills. And the program that I went to was an educational-based counseling program, and the idea was that if we learn how to do something differently, we can live a different life. And it was really fascinating, and it improved my marriage, it improved my life, and I learned a lot from many different people. But what I also found was that was really important is that, all of us have the capacity to change, and marriage is very important. And I found a lot of people in Thailand were getting divorced, and that's what I went back to learn how to prevent that. And you can't prevent it for everybody, but I certainly have a pretty good record.
Yeah, exactly.
and I love the fact that people can change their relationships.
Yeah.
So it's very empowering.
It's pretty difficult when you come as a trailing spouse, whether you be male or female, quite frankly. It's a new country, problems with languages, so many different issues. Is there one common theme that runs through it all?
No, there isn't one common theme, but I do have a lot of couples that have been through an affair. Somebody's had an affair, And a lot of times people say an affair is the end of a relationship, and it can be a new beginning. And so I found that that's really very interesting to work with. But I've got so many different ages and people that are suffering loss of family members or different things. So there's many different issues that you're dealing with in the counseling arena. I thought it would only be depressed housewives, but my clientele are everywhere. They're from everywhere, and the men are coming in for counseling because they don't have any place to go. And so I'm finding the diversity is quite interesting.
What's your advice to people out there watching the program saying, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I really need to do some, but couldn't be a counsellor. I couldn't change what I know because I really don't know anything anyway." And they feel sorry for themselves. I mean, what do you do?
I think if people are depressed, that there's many different ways to get out of it. You don't have to go to a counselor. I recommend resources, and that's why I love things like living in Bangkok, because you can find out all sorts of activities. And I think sometimes people just need one session to say, "Oh, well, I didn't know about the Bangkok Music Society, and here's the breast cancer support group, and I can help here or I can help there." And when you do that, you don't need a therapist.
I guess the Bumrungrad International Hospital have done something quite different this year. Instead of having, as they always do, the Bangkok Living, they've actually recognised people that have contributed greatly and people that have changed their lives here in Bangkok from an educational perspective, from a lifestyle, from a business perspective. Was rediscover yourself and when you're living in Bangkok. Well, the next lady I'm talking to certainly has done that. A lady who was not involved, I'm sure, in this particular field she's involved in now, but she's an inspiration, I believe, to us all, from Nightlight, and I'm going to let her talk about that and what she's done, not just to help people in terms of getting them out of a particular industry, but to go beyond that and give them some support in terms of the work environment. And Dieselberg, you've been in Thailand 16 years with your husband, never involved in this sort of field where you're actually looking after youngsters, women that have been trafficked or prostitution. How and why?
Well, I've always had a heart for people who I've seen have been on the margin of society or excluded, fall between the cracks of different types of programs. And so when I came to Bangkok, what I saw was women in prostitution all over the place. You could just feel the brokenness and the pain. And it just really just pulled my heart from inside. It was just something that I felt, in a way, I would forget myself, my shyness, my own...
Not you shy, really?
Well, yes, I could
Really?
be.
Okay.
I would forget that because my desire to reach out to these women was so strong that it took me out of that comfort zone and into a place of courage and discovery.
Nightlight has been operating for how long?
Nightlight has been operating since January 2005.
So 5 years, and in that, when you first started, you actually went to, and I think you still do, you go to pubs and bars or places where you believe women are being used as prostitution or for trafficking.
Yes.
What's the reaction when you actually meet with these women in the first instance?
You'd be surprised. They're actually very open.
Are they?
Initially, they may have a little bit of a mask, of a guard. I like this 50-50, the dance, the music, the money. But when you actually show them you care about them, and I can speak Thai as well, then they just open up and they hold on, they're affectionate. They want to be able to tell their story.
And they want to get out of it too.
They do want to get out of it, they hate it. But they may not feel like they are able to at that time for financial reasons. But they are so happy to have someone who will listen to their story, who isn't there for their body.
Yes.
Isn't there, they don't have to put on the act, a mask.
They can be themselves.
They can be themselves.
Were you in the jewelry business before?
Well, I wasn't. I'm a creative person, and I had the idea, so I practiced for about a year. And then when we met a young woman in the bar, she was 22, had only been there 4 days. She didn't want to do it, and so I promised her a job. And then I had to create a job for her.
So you went into jewelry design.
Skills, yeah.
And you're actually selling online. What's the actual, so that viewers watching the program online, what's your address for jewelry?
It's nightlightinternational.com.
Well, I think, Anne, it's an amazing story, and I'm sure there's going to be so many more for you to help. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, Annette Polner, we interviewed on Morning Talk, in fact, maybe a couple of years, 3 years ago now, and we talked about Bangkok blondes. Not quite sure why, but Annette, in fact, has actually not only written this book, but actually has a group where all frustrated writers come together, and there's something more to come. So, Annette, the book is still being sold.
Our book, Bangkok Blondes, written by a locally and internationally famous Bangkok women writers who are no longer frustrated because they have appeared in this book.
Now, I guess I've read it 3 years ago, but I just want to remind our viewers, is it about being a blonde in Bangkok? Or is it more than that?
It is, of course, more than that, but it always starts with being a blonde in Bangkok. It's about the lives of women who come and choose to live here and make a life for themselves here. And it focuses very much on the little things in life, the little everyday small things that turn out to be the really big things in life after all.
And you come together as a writers group, women's writers group. How often do you meet?
Since 2001, we have met every second Tuesday.
And this is whether you are a qualified writer or not, but if you have an inspiration to write, you can actually come along and you can actually sit down and you chat, you know, explain to each other, you give clues about how to write a better book.
What we do is everybody brings in a piece of writing and then we workshop it in the group in a supportive and inspiring spirit. We're not into destroying other people's writings.
So it's a motivational to get yourself going.
Yes.
But now you've gone into dreaming. What's all this about dream coaching?
Well, I have, of course, like you, been dreaming all my life. I just didn't know my dreams very well until I started to look at them in a different way. And I'm actually a psychotherapist, and I was trained in London, and I also did a lot of dream workshop groups in the US. And we do spend a third of our lives asleep, and we dream every second that we are asleep.
Do we?
Yes, we do. So this is the most common activity of all that we do in our lives. We spend 26 years of our lives asleep.
That's a worry, isn't it?
We even go to sleep when our life is in danger. So, and what we do is we dream.
I think I've got to go to this. I think this is interesting because I get told from the Thai people about dreaming. It's different to what someone else tells me. I just forget about dreaming really now. How do people contact you about the dreaming?
The dream workshops are at NCS Counseling Center, where I also work as a counselor. As a member of an international team, we have counselors in English, Thai, Japanese and German, of course. The dream workshops are at the moment only in English. And you come for a whole day. It's very reasonably priced because we don't want to exclude anybody. And in a group of like-minded people, you get to look at your dreams and get to know your dreams better.
As we're wandering around living in Bangkok, which is put on by Bumrungrad International, really a great focus for not only new expats coming to live in Thailand, but also for us oldies that like to wander around and get some up-to-date information. And as I was wandering around, I saw, BrainFit Studio. We interviewed them recently, and this is actually the lady who's actually not been long in Bangkok, not been long in Thailand. I referred to Nisha Tati. Is it getting any better?
Yes, it is, and events like this is a good opportunity to fast track and learn more about Thailand and its services and mingle with more expats living in Thailand, which I wouldn't otherwise know now.
Right. Now, you're from London. Are you acclimatising? You're acclimatising to the rain, I guess.
Yes, I am.
But what about the weather?
I've been living in Bangkok for 3 years now, and I'm slowly getting used to it. And
takes time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and I take each day as it comes, and it's a constant learning curve for me.
How's living in Bangkok working for you guys?
I think Bangkok offers a lot of opportunities. Initially there are some barriers that I need to overcome, but other than that I think it's a great opportunity to work in Bangkok and help make a difference in the field that we're working in children, because our passion is to help children reach their full potential at school.
Yeah. I guess the gentleman I'm going to interview next, yes, there is one gentleman. In fact, there were two gentlemen who, in fact, were recognised for their work. One, of course, Stephen Salmon, who we've talked to many, many times from Thai Craft, and another gentleman, Food by Phone. But let's talk about Thai Craft. It's been operating for many years, and I don't know if you've ever been to any of the events where they're actually selling on a regular basis. Some of what you can buy there, the fact that they're helping people who would not normally have the opportunity to actually market and promote their products, I think you guys are doing a great job. How many years now, Stephen?
Wow, well, it's 18 since we started Craft as an organisation. Obviously, lots of water's gone under the bridge since then, so it's been a lot of changes, changes not only in the way we operate, but also in the habits of customers and people, and the availability of crafts in general has completely changed in Bangkok. Because when we started, there was virtually nowhere you could get these products at all.
Going forward, what are we going to see? We're going to see new products?
Well, yes, because we have worked with our producers in saying from end of September we need new products, new things, collections coming in.
Right.
So there's been a tremendous response from our producers.
Good.
And more than half of them will be bringing in new collections for this September.
Excellent.
And we're also bringing in about 4 or 5 new groups as well. So
Stephen, you've done it again.
A lot of new things to see.
Okay.
A lot of things. So hopefully, even if you've been before, I hope people will come along.
Look forward to that.
Because it really is appreciated by the producers, and it is one way in which we can keep the craft alive going, because it's under danger otherwise.
Thank you very much. Okay, so thanks, Stephen. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
เมืองไทยใครๆก็รัก50 ปีการท่องเที่ยวแห่งประเทศไทยมุ่งมั่นตั้งใจเพื่อการท่องเที่ยวไทยยั่งยืน
Just wanna know how could love come to me? It came by chance or came with some reasons. I can feel love the first time that I saw you. You've changed my life. You're always my sunshine. I love you so, and I just want you to know.
สะอาดใสมั่นใจได้น้ำดื่มช้าง
ต้นเขาเป็นผู้ใหญ่ทั้งนอกบ้านและในบ้านจริงจังกับชีวิตมากเขารักสัตว์มาตั้งแต่เด็กๆแล้วค่ะเขาอยากเห็นทุกชีวิตอยู่ด้วยกันอย่างมีความสุขลูก3 คนต่างคนต่างสไตล์แต่ก็ภูมิใจที่พวกเขามีหัวใจเป็นไทยเสมอ
คนไทยหัวใจเดียวกันช้างคลาสสิก